solar and wind. And Gitaram was here yesterday, and I haven't seen him today. Maybe he'll show up later today or tomorrow, but you can speak to him about his. The VFD drive was actually developed by a local company in Pune. And the other system is in actually in north of Bangalore, and that's a direct drive, a wind turbine, a 3 HP to a 3 HP submersible pump. So that is actually part of the wind empowerment test that we're doing now. So we're data logging it, and we expect to have it online in the next month or two, where we could actually see the performance of the system live. So the other work that we've been doing up to now has been in addition to water pumping, is actually advanced manufacturing for rural development. And the idea is to develop machinery such as a CNC router. In this case, our first work has been using a CNC router that was developed in Slovakia. And I actually bought the system already made as a kit in the makerspace in Rome, and I brought it in my suitcase. Actually, it's more like a handbag. And all the components are, some of the components are 3D printed, and tubing you get locally. So we assembled the system here, but we already modified it. And it's basically for wood, but we already modified it. And it's basically for wood. It's a wood router. The interesting thing about this CNC is actually it runs on optical connections. So it's actually the reason for that is so that when you run it as a plasma cutter, as a steel cutter, you have less interference with noise. And then you have less interference with noise. And then finally, with that machine, we developed this large format 3D printer, and that's a kind of a crazy idea, honestly. But we've tried to start using it to recycle some plastics. So we've developed a plastic processing unit with an extruder. We've spent the last year working with plastics, with low density polyethylene, high density polyethylene, PET, polypropylene. So basically using recycled materials and creating parts with it. And there's a picture of it actually printing something in plastic. As I said, the size is 6 meters high and about 5 meters wide. The ultimate goal of that machine, the reason it's big is because we want to print components that are big enough, like to make a wall, a 3-meter wall made of adobe, let's say. And later in the year, we'll change the design to be, this is actually what's called a delta printer for the way it's built, and it's going to be changed to a polar printer, so we can actually print an 8-meter diameter room. And the machine will be actually half the size of that. So the idea is everything we do is open source. So anybody that wants to learn how to build a large format printer, you just come by. Except that when you come by and you try to copy the printer, I'll give you some blueprints that we have, but there may be some other blueprints that need updating. So your job will be to update those blueprints, and then you take the design with you. So you have to actually work for it a little bit. Nothing is free. But what we are grateful for is time. The time that you spend with us, the time you share your knowledge with us. And hopefully whatever we share, we are able to share with others in accordance to the rules.